Good evening, everyone. This is the Air Conservation Commission meeting. It's Thursday, April 13th, 2023. Commissioners in attendance this evening is down a little bit. We have George Bacon as member. We have Jess Gugino as member clerk. We have myself, John Schmallenberger, as chair. We have Heather Hampson as our agent. Welcome, everyone. Do we have confirmation of agenda?
Yes, no changes.
Motion to approve the agenda as written.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, nay. Passes unanimously. Approval of the meeting minutes for March 23rd, 2023. Any changes that anyone? You must have some, George.
My red pen ran out of ink.
All good?
Yep.
It's all good?
Okay. Okay.
It's okay with me, too. Motion to approve the meeting minutes for March 23rd, 2023 as written.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed say nay. Passes unanimously. This is the time of our meeting when we will listen to public input. If there's anyone out there who's not on the agenda that would like to ask a question or offer a comment, now's the time. Okie dokie. Hearing none, we shall move on. Our first item this evening is a request for certificate of compliance, DEP file number 100-0393. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Mika Laszlo from SJ Mulaney, and this is a cleanup session from an order of conditions that was presented 3 years ago, and going through our files, we discovered that there was an outstanding order on this particular lot. This is a lot that it's right on the border of Littleton.
That one's,
That's the
that's
second
423,
one.
that's the second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is the Woodland Way
Oh,
one.
Woodland, okay, I'll go back. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Woodland Way. Woodland Way, this is, okay, from our order of conditions from last summer. We had done several lots, I think it was August 11th of last summer. We submitted several lots. Woodland Way was intended to be part of that submission, including the main impetus of that whole submission was the wetland replication area.
Yep.
That was off Woodland Way. And Desheng Wang has been doing the inspections out there, and I was supposed to be at that meeting. I ended up having COVID. I wasn't here, and I missed what was discussed, and that was one of the loose ends that occurred.
Yeah, I think there was 5 certificates that evening.
Actually,
if
there was
not-
8.
Was there 8?
There was
Oh, yeah.
8.
So there's just, there
There was
should have been
8 that evening. So I think we kind of ran the table that night. And I know there was discussion, skimming through the minutes, there was discussion on it, but I don't know that it actually went forward.
Mm-hmm.
Subsequent to that, at the same time, we were going for street acceptance. So that Woodland Way has gone through the street acceptance process with the town DPW review, all the punch lists that were outstanding for that. So, I was talking to Heather about a month ago. I'm like, I think we got an outstanding order that needs some cleanup, and the developer of the project is complete. There's no construction going on anymore. So, all the houses are developed, the infrastructure's in, the wetland replication's in. So it's.
Have you been out, Heather, to take a look?
Yeah, I went out and looked at all this back in July when I first started, and then this replication, I'm pretty sure is the one we saw deer running through, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was.
And it's pretty high, so no, everything was done then, this one just got missed.
It's just paperwork.
Yep.
And really, there's no more construction going on. It's all.
It's not just ongoing maintenance of people, and I think the main thing was the affidavits with the individual lot owners. I think that was the real crux of the battle. I think.
We tossed that one. I think. So, yeah.
But from an infrastructure perspective, and then
Yeah.
even the replication, it was a picturesque moment when we were out there, all the deer and the antelope playing in the replication area. So, okay.
And it was
antelope.
already dry at that part of the year, and there was still water in it too, which
Correct.
was surprising, so.
He did have COVID. He might have been having
hallucinations.
hallucinations.
Yeah, he might have, yeah, that's true.
Do you have any questions, George?
No.
Jess?
No.
I don't either. Any discussion at all from anyone? Motion to issue a certificate of compliance on DEP file number 100-0393.
So moved.
Second,
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Passes unanimously. Okey-dokey.
Now, to the other one was, I thought this one was complete. We had, this was the lot 02, this is the 0423. At, what, 138 Littleton Road, right on the Littleton line. Shang had done his reports, and I think it was one more season. I think it was a discussion with the conservation back 3 years ago that they wanted to go see one more growing season occur, and we've had 3. and that was like, oh, and this was one that I thought was completed October of 2020. I had resubmitted what was sent in June of 2020. So in my mind's eye, I didn't even realize that there was still an open order on this particular lot. Especially after it's sold, usually those things shake out when they close. The
Right.
attorneys call and say, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
And
It's 50/50 on those.
yeah, you never know. But usually that's usually where it occurs. Like when you have septic Title V, that's usually what drives it.
So how's it look after 3 years?
Good. I just did a drive-through and
Yeah, so you can see part of it from the road too.
yeah.
the only question I had on this one was, we had required 5 conservation signs.
5 conservation signs.
Do you know if those were installed?
I believe
There were, 2 were supposed to be down along the road. There was a little wetland area there
yeah, 'cause we had a-
that
yep.
we had decided way back not to touch. And, we just put in a couple signs there. And then there was a higher wetland further uphill that was also not going to be touched. I think there were supposed to be 3 at locations.
I saw remnant erosion control
Yeah.
filter sac in there, but I didn't walk on the property. I didn't look for the signs.
Yeah, so you might,
That I don't have verification for. My understanding was that it was just the growing season from Duchesne's report. That was when I was reading through the minutes of what was outstanding out there.
yeah.
Yes, Bill. Yeah, because we got, the double sock was,
Yeah, just look at the report, I didn't see a note on
The
it.
minutes when we did that, so.
Well, I don't doubt that we did it. I just don't know if it got done.
I have to check that in the order. So,
Well, it was required for all the other ones, so I can't imagine why it wouldn't have been required for this one, but I know this one isn't part of, it's
Yeah.
off of, it was, I think it was after the fact, yeah.
so that's the only thing that I think we would, need to confirm.
confirm, okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
as
no,
I
I
recall,
don't doubt
all
it,
these are
because
in
we did
kind
all
of
the
in
other ones.
perpetuity
Yeah.
that exists, that you
Yeah.
have the ability to
Yeah.
go, oh, by the way, you need to put some more signs out there. If somebody,
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think when we initially did this, there was gonna be replication done along the road and then at that
at the top,
high area.
yep.
And then it was like, after discussion, it was like, those really shouldn't be touched, leave them, they're doing fine. But put some signs there to prevent homeowner from expanding.
Didn't you came up with, the town had now this, a standard sign that they
Yeah,
were
we have
using.
signs in the office, yeah.
They're being utilized throughout.
Yeah, because those are the signs that you used over up
Yeah,
on Woodland,
correct,
yeah.
correct.
Yep. So I have those in the office if you needed them.
Okay. Right. right, so I can pass that along to Duke, just to confirm that.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to go trouncing around the
someone's yard, yeah.
someone's yard. They don't know me from,
Yeah, exactly.
who's this guy over here? So I kind of just did, kind of tried to peek in there and see how it looked. But I did not look for signs.
I didn't even dawn on me to ask you that either.
Yeah.
Don't you have a drone? Why don't you have a drone? Oh, shit. Is that something you can check on?
Yeah, when do you,
We could
We'll
always,
just do it contingent on, we can pass this.
yeah, and let it
Or
go
issue it
through.
I mean, even right now, I can go and pull on the side of the road and see if I can see him.
Yeah.
We will issue it
And just put, okay.
contingent on the fact that they're,
I know how to get a hold of him. I know how to get a hold of him.
yeah, okay.
And the thing was, we hadn't specified locations on the 3 upper ones. That was supposed to be determined
Okay.
upon coming the field, so you might want to
Okay.
have some
Okay.
input on that.
And
Yeah.
I know a lot of those elements too, like tried to reach out to Desheng. I think he's in China right now too, so he's on vacation. And I know he's been kind of the follow through with a lot of the little, well, actually the detail of inspections and
Yep.
signage and such.
Yeah,
So,
he's pretty great.
yeah, so I know he's,
I like him.
yeah. So, yeah, I had reached out to Francis and I had asked him, was there anything else that their office was aware of that was outstanding on that particular lot? And so this was, I wasn't aware of the sign requirement that was discussed.
Yeah.
It's okay. Any other discussion? Motion to issue the certificate of compliance, DEP file number 100-0423, contingent on all of the wetland signs are in place.
Okay.
So moved.
Seconded?
5.
5 in total. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed say nay. Passes unanimously.
Okay. I'll reach out to Duke and
Great.
to the proponent, and thank you very much.
Thank you too. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank
Pleasure
you.
to meet you.
I'm gonna
All righty.
give you that just so you can see what was all
Yeah.
discussed, and then
Very good.
just
Thank you.
find,
Oh, that's funny because it was 2020, so I think that's why it was missed. So I'll double
Yeah.
check those minutes from 2020.
yeah.
Okay, very good. We'll do that.
Next item is a discussion.
Wait a minute, you have to sign.
Oh. Don't you have enough to do? You got taking the minutes and doing all this stuff.
Slowing everything down.
When I was on the commission in Townsend, they made me, as the clerk, check and make sure everyone's returned their certified mail during the meetings. I spent the whole hearing just checking the certified mail list.
Wow.
What am I doing? This is ridiculous. Okay.
Is Steve still around? Steve Mulaney?
No.
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 Okay.
But it's still called S.J. Mulaney.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
He was a very thorough man.
Yeah.
I dealt with him in Lancaster.
Former lawyer. Or
could
had a
tell.
lawyer. Okay.
Okay.
Next item this evening is a discussion on the conservation restriction monitoring report of Autumn Ridge. Would you like to join us, please?
Sure.
State your name, please, for the records.
I'm Stephen Smith.
How are you this evening?
Good, thank
Good,
you.
good.
How are you all?
Good.
So this is my annual visit to the Conservation Commission.
Like going to the dentist. Like going to the dentist.
No, hasn't been that hard. Have you got copies? I've got some extra copies.
I've got a copy.
Yeah, okay.
Yep, I think we're all good.
Okay, so the subject of the evening is the conservation restriction which the town of here holds on the land of Autumn Ridge Farms. And the Conservation Commission is the town board that is responsible. So this is an exhibit map that was made specially for the conservation restriction. This is Autumn Ridge Village here. This is Ada Groton Road. And the conservation restriction comes in 4 zones. Zone A is the woods in the lower part of Rock Meadow Pond. And that's pretty much leave as is. This Zone C, or Zone B, is fields. And it allows farming. And the hay on those fields is farmed. And the Zone C is a horseshoe around the village. That allows the same as B, but some amenities like boardwalks or gazebos or something like that. There's a picnic table there. That's conservation restriction.
Oh, and then there was a 4th
Oh yeah,
D?
D is the village itself.
Oh, okay.
And that pretty much is unrestricted except by the rules of the condo association,
Okay.
which are pretty restrictive. I mean, you build porches and things like that. But I don't pay attention to that because the Board of Trustees does. So since 2010, I've been appointed as the monitor. In 2005 and prior, my sister Beverly and I and my brother Dick, we were the owners of all this. And this was our childhood farm that we grew up on, and sold the house and barn. And these lots were retained, and the rest was sold. Eventually it became the ownership of Autumn Ridge Farm, and you appointed me monitor of the conservation restriction. That restriction was created in 2005 when the land was sold, but we didn't do much work on it until 2010. We did the baseline in 2010. Heather, do you know that you've got that in the files? Yeah, good. There are 3 copies. You've got one, Autumn Ridge has got one, and I've got one. Every 5 years, we do a complete update on the photographs, the legal photographs. Get on a spot, compass bearing, take a picture. And all those pictures should look the same as they did 5 years ago,
More or less.
except for Mother Nature.
Yeah.
And what she's done. And there were a few exceptions to that. We've done baseline, 2015, and 2020. So 3 sets now. And there'll be another one in 2025, God willing. So this year I did the usual thing. You'll see in the 4th page is an exhibit of my treks where I walked on the map and the dates I walked. And on January 14th, 23, I walked with this group of people that you see in the picture. And they're all Autumn Ridge residents. Beverly was there too, but she took the picture. So she's not in the picture. But John was there and Chuck was there. Chuck, were you there?
No.
You weren't there. But the others that you see, and it's very, very pleasing for a monitor to have the owner of the land, that's represented by the Autumn Ridge residents, be there when you do the monitoring. I was a lone soldier out on some Appalachian Trail conservation restrictions. I was all by myself, wandered on. I'd take my results to the homeowners and sit with them afterwards, but when they said, good, glad you did that. You're the only one that looks. But it's nice to have people come. And I list for you all the members of the Board of Trustees. None of whom are here tonight, but they come once in a while. And I also list for you the manager of the property. So that data is up to date as of my report every year. And so I'll just go through these numbered highlights, and feel free to ask questions anywhere along the line. So, number one, 2022 was a year of serious drought, and the water levels in our Rock Meadow Pond were significantly reduced, such that part of the pond was bottomed out. It's come back now. Sightings of birds and other wildlife were reduced in the year. At Smith Pond, which is this little pond up near the fields, the beavers stayed away. We're glad they do, because they were chopping down trees and flooding the place, and it's making a mess. They're not welcome there at that. They're very welcome down here. They're not so welcome up here. The water level was down in this pond. It's in Smith Pond. It's come back. Many wildlife observations were made, and I've got them all listed by year. I started in 2019, 20, 21, 22. So beside every listing, you see the years in which it was noticed. So the black bear was noticed in 19, 20, and 21, but not 22.
No, I didn't see anything.
Did you see the bear?
Hope so.
Did you see the bear in
No, no years
2022?
this year. Or 22 that I know of.
Okay.
Where do you usually see the bears when you do
Near the
there?
village.
In the village?
On our back porch,
No kidding.
They
on the
climbed,
deck, we're,
Yeah.
we're second level.
Looking for a feeder?
well, you know, it's interesting, 2 years ago, and I'm not on a property, but I'm right next to it, right?
Yeah.
And I have a deck with no access up to it, no stairs. And that bear climbed up onto my deck and made a ruckus, scared me to death. It was a good sight, and he was looking, or she, looking around like, how did I get here? There was no bird feeder up there, there was nothing on the deck, but I guess hopeful that something would happen. But curious bear.
The bear first showed up when the mother kicked it out from down the road where Indian Hill.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was only a cub, and it went up to his in the fall, October, went up to his bird feeder all
Yeah.
by himself. Then he went out in the back woods, those trails where the rocks and everything are.
Yeah.
We didn't see him again until that spring. Then he came around. Got a few bird feeders. That's when we started communicating to people to take down the bird feeders.
Yeah.
the next year, he knew exactly where those bird feeders were, and he went to every single spot. I had taken down mine except for one suet I forgot hanging on my porch.
Got that?
And my wife's sitting at the door there, the sliding doors, and he's up, grabs the suet, and takes off. He came from 2019, 20, 21, and 22 for a little bit, and then he was gone.
I love
So
bears.
we don't know where he is now. About 4/5 down the list of animals, you'll see eastern coyote. I had not included that on the list before, but I checked this out with people. My brother in Florida said, I saw an eastern coyote. Every time he mows the grass in this area and down in here, and he saw him sitting in the grass 3 years in a row, so I added it in.
Yeah.
And everybody at Autumn Ridge helps with this sightings of wildlife. I think we'll make a contest or something, photos or something, but this year I had contributions from Chuck Francis, who is here, John Marion, who's not, John Cadigan, who is here, Kyle Formicelli, Keith Frederick, and my brother Richard Smith. And we had more fun with this list.
I'll bet. It's pretty extensive.
Yeah, it is. And I don't think it's scientifically perfect, but it's what people identified.
Sure.
Told me about.
Yep.
I'm happy to have in the pictures with the report. The first picture is a porcupine in a tree. John Cadigan took that picture near the village. But of course, this hill is Porcupine Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And that name goes way back. And these cliffs up here are and there's a porcupine den. It's been there since I was a kid, probably long before that. It's got a dung heap outside.
Yeah.
And, but seldom, they're nocturnal, and you don't see them that often. Beverly's got one named Portia,
Portia Trundle butt.
comes around her house. and John caught this one in a tree, and it does not look like a full grown.
Oh, that was a name.
Oh, was it?
Oh,
John
Marion.
Marion.
John Marion.
Marion.
Sorry.
That's up behind building 500.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like a full grown. Looks like a juvenile to me.
Portia is full grown.
Yeah, Portia's big. I'm glad to have a picture of a porcupine once in a while. Beverly's going to try to get a picture. And then this last picture of the osprey.
Yeah.
That's our osprey landed in the nest in Rock Meadow Pond. Taken by a professional photographer who John Marion ran into taking pictures last year. And he sent actually a whole set of pictures he had taken over the years of these. He had one with the osprey. This is current, 2022, but he had one from previous year with the osprey with a fish in the claws, delivering it to the chicks for supper. It's a pretty good picture.
There was an osprey on Sandy Pond a couple years ago. Was it like last year? And it was struggling in the water, and I had my binoculars out, and I said, "Is it in trouble?" And it just couldn't take off. And I was thinking, get my kayak out, but then I saw it had a huge fish, and it was just having trouble getting out of the water.
Wow.
It finally did, so
That was Thanksgiving dinner, wasn't it?
yeah.
Well, the ospreys are back this year. What date was that, Chuck? You saw it? Chuck, the ospreys came back?
They came back
Yeah.
well, almost 2 weeks ago now.
Like April 1st or March.
And there's Cooper hawk nest down there too.
Yeah.
We don't see the great horned owl anymore. They were there the first couple of years that I showed up, back in 15 and 16.
And ducks are back. So it's, the habitat's working.
Yep.
Number 3, no hunter interactions were reported. We did put up no hunting signs around with this cutoff. This is public access, and it pretty much is governed by the town of Air hunting rules because they're posted on Norton Harvard Road. So deer hunting allowed in deer season. But in this area, we've put up, the board voted and we put up no hunting signs on this border, which is the border between public access and no public access. And of course, it sort of protects the village too. So, no hunters were reported. The power company was active for the second year in clearing trees. There's a right-of-way it comes along here, and there's a right-of-way that comes through here. They're not so good on this map, but we noticed some wetland flagging right around this pond. Did they come here to get permission
Yeah.
for that?
And it's transmission line work throughout the town that's actually in junction with work they're doing in Shirley and Groton. The National Grid is doing transmission line work through the whole corridor.
Yeah, it was noticeable.
Oh, yeah.
But we, the owners of this land wouldn't be notified of that?
National Grid would have done that notification, so I'm not sure how that works.
Who does?
National Grid,
Oh, okay.
We received something in the mail that they were
I would assume so. I'm not 100% sure how
very
that.
broadly based,
Yeah,
no dates.
yeah.
Anyway, we did notice that. And number 5, people accompany me on the monitoring. The names are there. They're in the picture. And then we do trail work every year, done by a resident crew. Chuck Francis is sort of the local leader of this, and he and I conspired to get the tools together and invite people, and we did it on April 30th last year. And the trails were in good shape for the year. We haven't named a date yet this year, but we'll get to it. No encroachments were noted. Improper access or wood cutting or fires. At one time we had campers here that fire happened and some of this land was burned. And other times we had fire builders here. But nothing in 2022, so that's good. We had one additional geocaching site. We got 2 now down here on the observation point. I don't know why there's 2. You'd think they're within 20 feet of each other. Little boxes, And, it's a sport. They have their own association. You have GPSs and you go find it. So we've got 2 there, 1 there, and 1 there. A little path 1, but no disruption of any kind.
It's just a canister that they sign in, or is it?
What?
Is it a canister that they sign in?
Yeah, in one case it's an old Army ammunition box. stays dry. And in another case, it's a plastic thing, whatever. And the people bring trinkets and leave and sign their name. Yeah, I just lost my, I was thinking of something. I don't know if I mentioned it in the report, but you know, you've put up 2 beaver deceivers. You've installed 2 beaver deceivers. One at this dam and one at the lower dam, which is just off the property of Autumn Ridge. But both those beaver deceivers are working.
Oh, good.
They, because if they didn't work in this, when the deluge comes and the rains come, they flood things. But it's supposed to be a foot, below flood stage that those things trigger, and they're working.
I walk back there periodically and I look at them.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah. And lastly, number 9, haying and mowing happens in zones B and C. The haying in the open fields north of the road is done by David Elides. There's no money exchanged. He takes the hay in payment for doing it. And he's got a business. He sells it. But that's market. In fact, in some cases you have to pay farmers to hay your land these days. That's true in Berkshire County.
Oh,
But
really?
yeah. But in this case, it's just no money.
It's around here.
David does the haying, and his barn is up here. And then this land is not so easy for David's big haying equipment because it's slopes and a brook, and so Dick does it with his rotary mower on the back of his Kubota. He does that, and down he does this part too. And the trail crossings of the power line, I do that with my trail tractor. I do trail mowing in Westford. And I come to here to do these trail crossings of the power line, because otherwise I get all grown up. That's the report.
Nicely done. We thank you as always.
You're welcome.
Pardon?
Greenway.
We had a question, if you could ask you. We're starting a greenway,
Well,
Friends of Pine Meadow.
Friends of Pine Meadow. Do you have any advice for us?
You're trying to start a Greenway committee? Rebirth it?
yeah.
Yeah, it's more or less, instead of calling it a Greenway Committee, it's more like a land stewardship program that we're gonna just start off with for Pine Meadow, see how that goes, and then see if we can branch it off to other items in town, but that's the main focus now, trying to just one at a time.
Any
I've
suggestions?
got one person that emailed me so far. I did, yeah.
Got one? All
Within
right.
the first day, and I haven't heard anything in over a week, but that's
And
okay.
I
What did you do, advertise?
Yes, yeah, I have it on the town's website. It's on the town's website on the Facebook page. I'll see if I can get him to repost it. I have flyers outside my office.
And I just put it up on the 2 community Facebook pages.
Yeah.
'Cause I've had a couple of people offer to help.
Oh, you can send it my way.
I'll have to dig in. Well,
If
I
we,
think, yes, I do have
okay,
suggestions. I got a lot of experience with volunteer groups in the woods. So, and of course, George and I were both on the Greenway Committee back when. How long did we have that? 2004 or 5? And for 10 years, maybe?
Was it that long?
Oh, yeah. It was at least that long. And I was the straggler at the end,
Yeah.
putting up the getting the brochures in the box, and then we're not printing them anymore. And refreshing the maps and the language and the trailheads.
Mm-hmm.
So that stuff needs to be done.
Yeah.
Yes.
But and I've got the electronic, digital word versions of the map and the language and you could deal with the same printer or just get a bid from that printer that I did, Printing Solutions in Westford, and get those things redone.
Because if I have a file, we have a large-scale printer here that we can actually print in-house now, so.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's
Do you-
it's
do you-
expensive, but it's helpful.
Would you like me to send the
Yeah.
electronic files?
If you could, that would be
All
fantastic.
right. Yeah. Because these are all on file at GPR as well.
Yeah.
In fact, when we do the monitoring, we don't really use this map. We use the survey map, which you all signed. You know, it's got the meets and bounds of everything, every trail mark, every border marker, and yeah, that's why it looks so groovy. It goes in place. And GPR's got this on file too. And it's in the book. It's in your book. Yeah. So yes, I'd be happy to do that and join in and help.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
And we should get the word around Autumn Ridge too, because when I used to lead trail work on Pine Meadow, 2 or 3 Autumn Ridge people would come and help. I don't know if you two ever did that. I bet you did. John, I bet you did. Help with the trails on Pine Meadow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Appreciate the help.
During the pandemic, we had loads of people
Yes.
Oh, I
come
bet.
through,
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, oh, yeah.
families.
Oh, I took my kids a couple times.
I mentioned, because I posted your flyer on
Yeah.
the community page, and I said, yeah, during the shutdown, a lot of you commented you would be interested in helping. I said, now's your chance.
That's time.
But
And the more people that we
Yeah.
can get to do it, the less work it'll be for a single individual, right? If we have
Yeah.
20 people, it's like, oh, once a year you just go out, or anyone that just walks it. I mean, I've gone out there 3 times. I've seen the same person out there every time, and I've mentioned it to him. He's never contacted me. But I see him out there every time walking his dog, and so I think I gotta put one of the flyers at the trailhead, and maybe that'll help.
Oh, there's a lot more residents in there, so there should be more interest, hopefully.
I would hope.
Beverly's worked with me on the
Yeah.
Pine Meadow Ponds when we did the spring chainsaw
Yeah.
work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And who's that guy in Sandy Pond? I forget his name. He lives down in behind Sandy Pond.
Behind Sandy Pond?
Yeah, what's that road back there?
You mean Patrick? Patrick Hughes?
No, not Patrick.
there's the Donnells, the fellow who's the realtor, starts with a C. Cowley? The Cowleys?
No,
Okay.
I bet he would help
Okay.
if he's still there. Because he was active. He took responsibility for some of the trails. And,
Nice.
yeah, we can dig up some names.
Yeah, I gotta push around and see if I'm sure I can dig up a few too.
And Andrew, my neighbor, was just asking me.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, I gotta get Cindy to
Andrew who?
repost it to the town's Facebook page again, and
Andrew, he and his wife moved here about just the beginning of the pandemic.
Oh,
He's now on the FinCom.
Andrew sounds familiar.
Yeah,
That's what I'm thinking.
yeah, and
Okay. Oh, do you want me to continue?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
please.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's the legal thing you do when you say that. Because
I'll make sure to put it in the minutes.
It's in the minutes.
Yes, Steve.
Steve.
As a resident, I'm really going to give a shout out to the Smith family. The initial design of the development being a cluster
Yeah,
and keeping it in tight
Mm-hmm.
and structuring the conservation areas and keeping areas open for the public as well.
Yep.
And Steve leads, obviously, this monitoring function, but also trail, provides encouragement. He's taken us out on kind of instructional walks. It's really exceptional.
Good.
I think that really adds to the town and its conservation efforts.
mm-hmm.
You bet.
And the whole family's a part of that. Not only Dick,
Yep.
and the ladies coming over. And
Yeah, that's a
participating.
big deal, the Alighties, for sure, because David's now gonna be 80, right?
Yeah.
And they're still doing haying that is professional, in my opinion, right?
Sure.
They know the whole thing, and that's hard to come by.
You know, when you look around, there's a lot of bad stuff going around these days, in a lot of dimensions. This is a good thing.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's unusual. We've tried to build a community
Yep.
at Otter Ridge. They've been part of it. It's most appreciated.
We appreciate it, we like it.
One of the problems is newer residents are a lot younger and not working with us. They got either jobs or just not interested in the
Sure.
wildlife and everything, so it's us older and older people now. Marion Stoddard still goes with us cleaning the trail, and she's 95 this year.
No, you just tell them that there was a study on the news tonight that said we're exercising outside is
Yep.
a better benefit than exercising indoors. If I get flustered working here during the day, I go out for a walk around the neighborhood. I come back clear-headed, ready to go. I love being outside. I don't know if people don't want to be
Black
outside.
flies are loaded this year
They have
already,
started.
Yeah.
much sooner than we've had in the past years.
Wow.
I've got a, for the land steward trail maintainer
Yep.
crew in Westford, I've got a 2 or 3 page list of duties
Yeah.
for trails.
Yeah, I remember we had something when I worked in Littleton. We had a land stewardship program, and we had, I think, 4 or 5 land stewards for every piece of conservation land we had.
I think Samarco stole it from Westford.
Probably.
He's on the Westford.
It's the next
Conservation
town right
Trust.
next over. So yeah, it was the Conservation Trust that did the land stewardship program
Samarco's
for us.
Littleton.
What?
Samarco's Littleton.
Yeah.
You know it?
Who, Andrew?
Forget his first name. I knew his grandfather.
So Andrew Samarco was a young kid.
Yeah.
He joined the commission just after I left, and I felt weird having someone be like a boss when they were like 10 years younger than me. Because he was
That's
still
it.
in college, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, no, all that was in place way before he got there.
Oh.
It was the conservation commission of the trust that did all that. So that was Rick Finley and
Well, I'll send it to you for you.
last year.
For the land stewards.
Yes, that would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to search all that stuff, but I'm just trying to get people first, and then we'll figure out logistics as we get
Right.
people going.
Yeah.
Because the more I have, the easier it'll be to figure out. And as it is now, even without having one, because so many people use it, and the majority of ones that do, people that come to town hall that are already on boards and commissions now, they'll tell me, oh, there's a tree down, can you get someone to look at it? So I get those calls anyway now. But to have some, because I mean, I first few times I've gone there, I get lost because there's so many unmarked trails out there.
Yeah.
Right, right.
But I did go out last Tuesday to go look at the vernal pool and see if I could find any eggs, and I did, so I was happy for that.
Good, good.
That was
Yeah, another thing is
Yes, there's 2 out there, so I did see it in one. I didn't
2
go peek-
certified ones.
Yeah, I looked at one. I didn't go peeking at the second one because it was getting.
So Takashi did that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, Groton got Takashi.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Steve. We appreciate all your hard work, and Beverly and Chuck and John appreciate all your hard work.
Thank you, guys.
We do. Yeah,
Thank you very much.
you're welcome. Have a good evening.
We older people rock.
That's right. Stick together.
Yeah, don't get up as fast from chairs, but yes, we rock.
I still get up fast.
Okay, some of us don't.
I don't get up that fast.
Bye.
Bye-bye, take care. All right, conservation updates.
Okay, so I'll try not to go too long. So yesterday, speaking of the vernal pool of Pine Meadow, yesterday I had a field session training on how to learn how to certify vernal pools.
Oh, yeah.
So it was a webinar, I think a couple weeks ago. Yesterday was a field session training in Stowe. We were out for about 4 hours. So now I technically know how to certify a vernal pool. Whether I can get in the water and find 5 egg sacs would be another thing without waders, but I do know how to do that now. So that was interesting, yes.
Remember on the back of, so there's Long Pond and it goes
Yes.
to that bridge. And then
You
it
say there's a
flows
person with
to
vernal pool out there, right?
Potential.
Yes.
There's on the Cowley property. You might reach out to
I'd have to get
him.
permission to go
Yes.
out there, and it's a matter of like getting it done in the next week or two because those
know.
eggs are gonna
But if-
start hatching.
That's what I was just thinking, if you wanted
But all I have
try
to do is find one fairy shrimp.
Yeah.
Yep,
and
one.
It's good.
So you
And I know
might-
what they look like now too. I mean,
yeah.
I've seen them
So you-
before.
So you might see about contacting them.
Yes,
see
and
if
I
they would-
did, because it made me think of it when we were outside, when we had the Orion Park here for the delineation, that there
Yeah.
was talk about that. So I emailed them yesterday, and they said, no, they already found the eggs on site. So it's just a matter of doing everything else, but they were gonna verify that for me. So I said,
Okay.
okay, good, because I wanted to make sure I understood it right. But yeah, so I did that, so
Okay.
that was fun training to
I'll
do.
bet.
So that's
Yeah.
why I went out last Tuesday to Pine Meadow, knowing where there was one, to see if I could get like an idea, like,
Yeah.
what am I looking for? And so that was fun. I liked doing that, and it was a free event, so that was good. I met with DOT on Monday. Yes, Monday, on Willow Road as part of their DOT's project, not the gas station or their gas line. This is just DOT's project at intersection of Bruce Street, Willow Road, and
That's the
Littleton Air Road. Yeah,
improvement.
the improvement down Willow Road. They are going to be removing the trees at a catch basin outlet before they install the erosion controls, because they will not be able to remove the trees without disturbing them. So if anybody sees those trees being removed, I gave them permission to take the trees down before they put the erosion controls in, and they are going to notify public safety, because they're going to probably need a road detail to take those out, and the tree warden as well, in case he needs to be notified, and notify my office when they're going to take those, the day they're going to take those down.
Okay.
Today I met with Dan Van Chowwick over on West Main Street at the Vicksburg Gate, across the street from that, as part of their project on that road. There is another catch basin outlet that needs to be reconstructed. There's been a lot of erosion control from the catch basin just going out into the brook there. So they're gonna build all that up and pull out an old pipe and fix that. So if anybody sees work going on in that section, I've already gone out and reviewed that, and because the existing outlet for one of the catch basins has about a foot or two before it hits the ground. I'm like, you can't do that. So they do quite a bit of build up, and they go, how much do you want to do? I'm like, might as well do as much as you can now, because why are we going to be back out here in 5-10 years for you to fix it? So they're going to put a big old bowl and put some fill in, and then stone to really fill that whole depression out. So
I saw in the town warrant, they're now looking for funding to finally redo that,
bridge.
the bridge.
Yes, yeah, that's on, and that's, I asked Dan about that today too, and that's gonna all meet the existing stormwater standards, because if you look at that bridge now, and even the old crossing that's where the road is closed, both of them, like, the brook's wide, and it goes under, and then it goes wide, and it goes under. So with the new bridge that they put in for West Main Street, it'll actually be it'll be the width of that brook, which will be good, because that'll help too with climate change and more rainwater, and then we'll have a bridge that's wide enough to take more water flow, so that'll be fantastic.
So that's how they're gonna do the non-aquacious?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. What else we got?
Is their order of conditions still good?
No, it's not. They're going to have to redo it.
Okay.
And yeah, so I met with Jeff Thomas out on the park. They're to look at some of the erosion controls for when they start doing Little League they're kind of in the way of the fields. One, I told him he could move it around the bleachers because it wasn't a big deal. The other one is actually on a slope that's all disturbed, so he's just going to cut the stakes so kids don't trip on them. I go, other than that, I'm like, you can't. If you take it out, it's going to wash to your field, and I feel like having a washout of dirt is more hazardous and troublesome than having a silt sock in the way. So I did that as well. If anyone sees that out on site. Next Friday is the McPherson Road Earth Day event, the closer. So I told Beth Studemeyer that we would, the Conservation Commission would have a table out on site. I'm gathering materials to hand out for materials on the rain gardens, and I quickly put
Friends of Pine Meadow.
Friends of Pine Meadow, the Pocket Forest Planting Day, which is the following Saturday. And then I quickly put together a flyer, and I'll buff it up before Friday. And I mentioned to different agents when I was out on site yesterday, none of them have one, a tips for homeowners living on a lake to help reduce phosphorus nutrients going into the water. So the agent from Worcester told me to check the Worcester Clean Lakes Commission. So the Quinsigamond Lakes Committee had a pretty good section of their website. So I basically took some of the information on that. I'm trying to make a quick flyer to hand out for that. That includes, not washing your car in your yard, using phosphate-free detergents, because even though it goes into septics or indoor stormwater, all that stuff still ends up in brooks and stuff later down the road. What to do about landscaping and stuff. So I have that, and the activity goes from 2 to 6 with setup around 1, which I can handle that, and I can be there for most of it. But it would be appreciative if another commission member.
Give me the day again.
It's next Friday, the 21st. It's that Friday? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's on a Friday because it's school vacation week, so that's why it starts at 2. It goes 2 to 6. Like I said, I'll gotta double check here with Carly and Chuck about getting a table from here. I'll bring all the materials. I'll have it all set up. I have no problem doing the setup if someone can be there from 2, and then I can get there around 3:30 with my. I'm gonna drag my kids, and it'll be a long day to be there from 1 to 6.
Yeah.
1 to 6.
So you're gonna set it up.
I'll set it up if someone wants to go for 2. So what happens is that they close Bishop Road. They're gonna allow parking through the gate along the side of the road, and then there'll be a barricade to close it off, and then tables are going to be set up at the intersection of where the Oxbow turns, so where Bishop Road ends up turning to McPherson. That triangle there is where all the tables will be set up, and there's the whole walking path if anyone wants to go. There'll be lots of fun activities. I think it's like 7 or 8. I think it's going to be almost 11 different organizations there with tables and stuff, and they'll have. And they're looking for volunteers too, if anyone wants to go and volunteer to help with gate management or other items too. I told Beth I'd mention it too.
George is now retired.
Yeah. It won't be as hot as it's going to be tomorrow. I think it's only supposed to be. It's going to be back to seasonable weather, so that'll be nice.
Yeah.
And there is a rain date if it does rain, so you don't have to be out in the rain. But if anyone does want to volunteer, and be watching the commission meeting tonight, wants to volunteer, they can get a hold of me, and I'll get them in contact with Beth Studemeyer over at Devon's Enterprise Commission to do that, because they're still looking for some volunteers for that. But if I could just get one commission member to be at the table for a couple hours, an hour or 2 to hand stuff out, then I'll be there for the last half of it.
I'll look at my schedule when I get home.
I appreciate it. Other than that, yeah. So then we have the Pocket Forest Planting Day on April 28th, 29th, that's Saturday. I'm getting my dates mixed up. I will not be there for that part of it, but I will be checking in on the rest of the activities as it's going forward. Yeah, the 29th. So if anyone wants, there's going to be 2 planting sessions, one in the afternoon, one in the morning, and one in the afternoon. The link for the Pocket Forest website to do the sign-ups is on the Conservation Commission page. If anybody wants to sign up and volunteer for that, that'll be fun activity for everyone to get involved in. Again, with the Friends of Pine Meadow, like I said, I had one person. I will see if we can get it reposted to the Facebook page just as a refresher. We will have, passing things out during the town meeting, before town meeting as well.
And you know that Andrew and Kathleen, the couple
Yes.
that were here, so they're.
Yeah,
on the
no,
list.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there'll be 3. We'll get there.
Yeah. If we get a few, and then we
I want to know
And then we set up a date at one of our meetings to get
Yeah.
things going, and then let them.
Yeah, it'll probably be the first or second meeting in May, because we don't have
But
much of that.
once we have a few, at least, it might be easier to get some others if we say,
Yeah.
here's the date.
Yeah, yeah,
But
I'll throw it
also-
on for the first meeting in May, and
Yeah.
then we'll see what we can get.
Let's draw whatever we can from Steve, too.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
we'll get there.
And then the planning board, and I've gone through it, so I don't know if any of you want to look at, the planning board is looking for an update on the master plan as a halfway point on how everyone is on their projects. I have the spreadsheet in an email that I can forward to you all. Not working for the commission for long, I'm like, oh, what has been, but being in town, I know what items are done, and with this creation of this Pine Meadow Land Stewardship Program, that's one of our master plan items, so that checks one off, so that was nice. The sign project was another one that checked something off.
Educational.
Yeah,
outreach.
the education things that we're trying to do
Yeah.
for the Earth Day, that checks another one off.
Yeah.
So we're without even knowing it, we're actually starting to check some stuff off. So if you guys want to, I'll send that out to you if you want to look at it and comment on any of it, but I think I got most of it that's on there. The public hearing for the revised regulations will be the next meeting. That's the only thing we have on the agenda as of now, so that'll make that one easy. The final report for the sign project, I sent that on to National River. Apparently, because I've never done a grant report before, I needed to do a different sort of breakdown for the budget cost, because we're still waiting for one invoice.
Yep.
And
It's not very much.
in items that we did as volunteers, I sent a question to them this morning, asking them how I verify that, because some of the items I'll be working by volunteers. Like, do I have to put a number on there? Do I put that in the match? Do I put that in the total? Like, I just want to make sure I write it out right. I didn't hear back from them yet, but they did get the initial draft report minus that part that was all complete. So whether they reviewed it at their meeting on Monday, I'm not sure, but they had all of that prior to that meeting.
Yeah, at
Was
least.
that one number correct about, what we actually spent?
Yep.
That's really low.
Well, when I looked at the proposal, the original the proposal of 4,800 was based on one bid from a sign company that was over $2,000 for the signs. And then when you went with the Linden signs, they were like $800, like $900. They were more than half the price. So I think that's where all of your cost budget went into. And then another one on the line item was for the QR code. It was under Camera Ready. So I double checked with Cindy. I go, you did that, didn't you? She goes, yeah, we handled it in-house. So that took $125 out of the budget. So
And then we did installations.
you did all the installations yourself. So a lot of it just got dwindled down to just volunteer and
Yep.
one good price on signs as compared to another one. So
Wonder how often that happens.
I don't know. They said if we could find another way to spend the money on a project related to that, we were allowed to keep it. We're just going to submit them that proposal, or how we want to give the money back.
Signage for Pine Meadow
I don't.
trails?
Oh,
I can run that by them and see if we can, because I looked at when I first. I've gone to Pine Meadow a couple times. I never noticed it because just a trailhead sign. I'm like, we don't have an actual sign. That's like most towns have, like town of whatever, whatever name the conservation commission. We don't have that there. There's nothing with the parking area. I'm like, we need to do signs. Like that's the first thing. Same thing with the Oak Ridge one. There's no actual little wooden sign there. And I mentioned this to the.
yeah. We need to really upgrade our signs.
We do, and I mentioned all this
Yeah.
to the gentleman that's in charge of the Boy Scouts in the region, and apparently somebody in their troops does that. So I'm like, oh. Awesome.
That's good.
I was thinking this time, because I think the signs that we have that are all faded out of legibility now. Were those done by, they weren't done professionally, were
No,
they? or-
they look like they're just a piece of paper
Yeah.
that was laminated
Right.
and stapled. So,
So if we did one now with a little more protective thing.
yeah, oh yeah. And the new key up, I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know if how structure that is with this thing, that's fine, but I'm like, there's no sign for the parking lot, there's no sign for the, even there that says where you even are.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, that's one of the main first things I'd like to see done. So I'll double check with them if we can use the money to sign that conservation area, because we do have signs for the waterways at that area, if we can use, if we
Right,
can
right.
Yeah.
stretch it to that extent, because that would be really helpful.
Yeah. And,
And then maybe
Yeah.
possibly purchasing blazes to put out to reblaze the trails and actually have them color coordinated.
or
Yeah, I
some,
was talking with Andrew and Kathleen the other night about that.
yeah.
They're hot to go.
They are, yeah, so I think I saw them, and then you saw them in close proximity. But yeah, they are hard to go. So we could use money there, but, and
Mhm.
also we can try to get some CPC money in the fall for
Yeah.
some other things like George's benches,
Oh, yeah.
which would be a great idea.
They are good. That's a good
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, especially that one lookout point when you first go in there. It's not far off the trail. It takes like a minute and a half to walk there. It's a nice lookout area.
Yeah.
On the other
Yeah.
side.
From Groton Harvard Road?
Yeah.
Yeah. There used to be somebody, some squatters had done a sort of
Oh, yeah.
lean-to right there once,
Huh.
a few
It's a
years
nice
ago.
spot for a lean-to.
Yeah.
On the other side too, there's, if you come in off of
Oak Ridge.
Oak Ridge.
Oak Ridge, it's not close, but it's a beautiful spot that overlooks the Pine Meadow.
Yeah. So there's
Pond.
a nice big rock that you can sit on that overlooks
Yeah.
it too. My kids,
Yeah.
that's why I took my kids.
Yeah.
That's what they like to do, is climb on rocks. And then, yeah, it's not
Yeah.
bad. We sat up there for a good 10 minutes just staring out at the pond.
To change the subject,
Yeah.
just for a sec. Last time I was back in there, which was only a week and a half ago,
Yeah.
at the very end of Pine Meadow,
Mhm.
where all the cattails are,
Yeah.
there is a crescent of Phragmite.
There is. No, I noticed there was too when I
Yeah.
went out there. There's also a tire.
It's a tire.
And I'm like, how did that tire? I think it fell from
Off the dome?
yeah. And I'm like, that's unfortunate. We got to
So-
figure out a way to see if we can get him to fence that off.
But mention that Phragmites to,
Yeah, I am
Joe.
going because I know he said, because I think they looked at from the pond side, but you got to look at it from the trail side. Because every time I go out there, I go, those are not all
Yep.
cattail, and I think
Yeah.
that's what they're seeing it. They're seeing it from the pond side, and Joanne, when she mentioned it, she was seeing it from the trail side.
There's not
So-
much of it right now.
So I'll mention it. I'll mention it to him when I hear he's going out. I'll let him know to go and look at it.
So
So that
that-
he needs to see it from the
Yeah.
trail and not
Yeah.
from the water.
so that contract's all signed and.
Yes. Oh yeah, it's all signed. All ready to go.
Okay.
And now that I've been talking to different agents and stuff, I'm like, oh, I need to check with Clean Lakes Commissions and see how they're doing with their water treatments and stuff too. So I started searching, and then Worcester didn't have anything, but
Yeah.
well, I'll keep looking at, and neither did Ashburnham, but because they have a whole private association, so I'll have to keep looking.
Oh, and then, Joe suggested we update or do a new order of conditions at some point with, that had the blue-green algae possibility treatment, if we ran into that
Yeah.
again.
Oh,
I also ran into something, maybe it was old minutes or something, I had a piece of paper somewhere, that, because there is always the question of how do we record an order for that? And the answer is it's not attached. Ponds aren't attached to any particular property.
correct.
So I think most towns do up an order and then they never record it. But because there's no way to,
I think that happens with some DPW projects as
Yeah.
well.
so we could, it would be a pretty easy thing to,
Amend,
at some point to amend.
extend
The-
it, amend it. Yeah.
extend
Oh, if you amend
or-
it, I think it's extended.
Or, yeah, whatever,
I'll look at it.
yeah.
Then that maybe bring it up, thank you. The water chestnut pull
Yeah.
is starting again on May 2nd.
We're going out this coming next week
Okay.
on Sunday with, drawing a blank on her name. She
Lori
does everything.
Nearing.
Over here.
Yeah, and we're going to try to do, she has this idea that problem with pulling all the chestnuts now, lets all the sunlight in to hit all those nuts that are at the bottom of the pond, and they're going to explode. She's thinking that we might be able to rake the bottom to get the nuts, so we've devised a couple things to try it.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes, but it would sort of eliminate that explosion of water chestnuts. If you can get a bunch.
Yeah.
I mean, every one you can get is.
But yeah, those signups, and I didn't know, like I said, obviously for next Friday, working at that event in the afternoon, I'll be leaving the office a little early on Friday, or coming in late. Probably coming late. And then with the water chestnut pull, would the commission be adamant for me signing up for a day or two during work hours if it fell in that?
Did it last year, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I clear it with you.
I mean-
That's part of the contract of work hours. We have to make sure we clear it with the.
No?
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
that's,
I enjoyed it. It was
Yeah.
nice, and it gets you out meeting people in the
Sure.
town and stuff too.
yeah.
Oh, and don't forget before
Friendly
the
face of your conservation agent.
before the end of the budget year to order some Sechi.
Yes,
Sechi
I gotta
discs.
get those discs. Yes, I
And
gotta go to
then-
I gotta double check how to order things from Amazon.
Yeah. And then if you ever want to go out on Sandy Pond to look at
Yes.
anything,
There's.
you can always use either my kayak or canoe.
Oh, okay. I was just
And
thinking.
Flanagan Pond, I know somebody lives there who
Oh yeah.
has
Oh,
stuff.
awesome. That's right.
Do you?
Well,
Yeah. Somebody.
Chief Johnson told me that they have an inflatable kayak that they keep at the DPW that I can use. So I'm like, oh, I'll have to check that out. Because if that's the case, then I might try to take that out on Grove Pond if it's inflatable. It
Oh.
might not sink as much.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we got a canoe and we got
Okay,
a kayak
awesome.
if you want to come over.
Yeah.
That's great because I wanna take a look at. I've canoed once, twice in my life.
And
Did you fall out?
Nope.
Then you're
And
you're
we
an
were
expert.
fishing, so.
Oh.
Yeah. And I'd encourage you, if you get the opportunity to go out with Water and Wetlands
Yeah,
on one of
I
those
might
things.
ask them when they go out, just to, because I think,
Yeah.
I know, I'm still having a hard time going, because I had so much fun yesterday going out, because they pulled up one spotted salamander, eggs, and I'm like, can I touch them? They're like, I have a vague memory of doing this as a kid with probably frog eggs, just like
Yep.
Yeah.
poking them and going, that feels like jelly. And I'm like, it's just so much fun. You get to meet other different other agents and stuff. I get to ask them all these questions, and I feel like I'm playing, but I'm, it's
But
work.
it's
And I'm
work.
having a hard time. Like, I'm like, no, it's actually work. It's fun. I'm like, I actually get to play at work. That's what I'm trying to remember, and it's a
Yeah.
lot of fun. So
Yeah.
getting out to go to pond too. And Robert's been great about it because I mentioned it to him last week that I was going to miss the department head meeting. He goes, because I have field training. He goes, that's more important. Go ahead. So, and it was really good. So it was a good one.
You can learn
Hopefully
stuff
it's-
and have fun. What's better than that?
Except there was a snake. There was a giant water snake.
And less aggressive in the water, I've heard.
Yeah, well, that's my whole thought, because someone was telling me you can get waders for like $50, whatever it takes. Like, okay, I'm like, that might be fun to like try and see what actually I can find. And then I was thinking of it afterwards. I go, what if I accidentally step on a snake in the water? Well, that's not going to be good. Or if I'm in the water and it goes by me, like I can't get away.
If you got waders on, it's not gonna crawl.
You say that.
Okay.
I've been in my car. I have been in a tractor and seen a snake, and I have
You freak out.
rolled the windows up because somehow it can get at me. In a tractor, I don't know how, because it was dead. It was just sticking out of a hay bale. And we both just closed the windows of the tractor, like not getting to me.
My neighbor, Chris, he screams, not to be sexist, but like a girl at the sight of a snake.
I do my
Yes.
best to, because like the girl pointed out that you just saw this big black. She thought it was a hose, and I'm like, all right, where is it? I gotta look, because I'm trying to, gradually face my fears. Oh yeah, no, I just saw this big black, only like this much of it, and like that's as good as I can't look at its face. Nope.
I can't pick snakes up. I don't think I ever have. But my neighbor called me years ago that there was a snake by the side of the road and needed to be moved. And remember crocodile hunter or whatever?
I love showing it to my kids.
Oh yeah, and so I grabbed 2 sticks. I get it under. You're all right, mate. You're all right. That's how he did it.
Yeah.
I learned.
Yeah, that's how we did it. But
Don't get in the water with a whatever those
giant manta.
it was a stingray.
Stingray.
Yeah.
I did go up to Air Solar 2 today, not yesterday. The site is relatively stable. It appeared, and Rihanna's going to put it in a report, that people on mountain bikes had gone in there.
Really?
And because there was a section of the side of the road where some of the storm water is, and it was a divot. I'm like, it had rain. How did that get washed out? And I looked at it. I'm like, there's tire tracks. And I go, I think someone took a mountain bike, because you can take one chain down. So whether they took the chain down and rode down on their bikes, or if they just went around on the stone, it doesn't matter. You can get a bike in there. So she was going to mention it to Rohit that that had occurred, because
It took down some erosion controls.
what it is so there's a
Yeah.
berm that's got the coconut matting and it's trying to grow grass. That the stormwater is questionable on that. But yeah, they just went right through it, so it made a channel. I'm like, how did that happen? I'm like, oh, bike. It was like 2 bikes went through.
Yeah.
So she was going to mention, I don't know what they can do as far as keeping that out. I don't think as much you can. It just is what it is. But that was the only major thing out there at this time. I was kind of hoping that some of the replication area would be growing with the warm weather, but maybe in another couple of weeks we'll see it popping a little bit more.
Yep.
Things are just starting here. Yeah.
Anything else?
That is it. I think that's enough.
How about you, George? You got anything?
No.
Jess?
No.
I saw something cool yesterday. I saw 2 bald eagles. One of them was an immature, and one was like a mostly mature.
Where was that?
Over on Flanagan's Pond,
Oh, nice.
and they had an altercation with an osprey.
Wow.
I mean, that thing was squawking. It's pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
That's neat. So there's 2 that like to nest on the Nashua River, off of River Road in Pepperell, and I've seen it once flying by, but I haven't seen it in a while, and I haven't seen any updates on the Pepperell Facebook page saying that they're back yet. So.
Anything else?
Yeah, I was just going to read you. I got a few likes on my Facebook post. I put it on the community page and the unfiltered community page. But I wrote, so I did the Conservation Commission is seeking to create a new Friends of Pine Meadow volunteer group to help manage and improve our conservation land. During the pandemic shutdown, a lot of residents discovered the beauty of Pine Meadow, accessed, and I mentioned the 2 trailheads. Some of you wondered on here if there was a way to participate in the stewardship of this great local resource, such as helping with trail maintenance, improvement, or organizing fun public activities for young and old. The commission itself, all volunteers, needs help, and now's your chance. Plus, it's a great way to enjoy the outdoors, meet your neighbors, and contribute to our town. See the flyer attached. If interested, please contact Heather. Once we have enough people interested, the commission will set up some initial meetings to get things going. And I put the flyer
when I was out on
underneath.
site too last week, I was like, oh, what would be fun if we decided we get up and going, to have and we just get them laminated, we can leave them in the office here, figure out how to have kids do a scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
While they're out there, can you find the beaver
That would be.
dam can you find, you know, this kind of like, oh, I thought of that while I was outside. Like, that would be fun. Because that's what my kids would like to do. That's what
That would be great.
yeah.
Yeah.
And just have it be like a laminated sheet that you can like check off and then like leave at the trailhead, or I can have them in the office here that people can take a
Prizes.
photo. Sure.
$1 million.
That's a good idea.
I can notarize something for them. No.
Sure.
But yeah, so I thought of that while we're out there. So I'm like, oh, that'd be a good thing to do. We just got to get everybody out there because I'm like, that'd be fun.
It really is a nice spot. And,
Well,
you know, that far end where it goes up to that chimney trail,
Yeah.
you never see anybody over there.
No.
Which
Yeah.
far end?
Go past the the new Boy Scout bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go further past it towards Autumn Ridge,
Okay.
Yeah.
and then you go certain ways and then cut up to the left.
Oh, that's to
Oh, yeah.
Porcupine.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
Porcupine Hill, yeah.
When I was up there last year, when I first was there, there was a huge paper wasp nest in one of the rocks there. I was like, oh, I wonder if we should put some sort of like advisor, because it was massive and it was right by the trail. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like going off and like climbing on rocks and just being swarmed by paper wasps. And then I was out last couple weeks ago and it was nice out, and there was one of those big, I don't know, birds, big articulated woodpeckers, like just huge.
So pileated.
Yeah, pileated in the trees there, and was squawking at me as I was walking by. I'm like, I'm just walking. Like, you do you.
They sound prehistoric, don't they?
Yeah. Oh, they're just massive. But yeah, I saw those out there too. But yeah, I do it to my kids. And then doing the foraging day and learning all the different kinds of mushrooms. I'm like, oh, that'd be fun too. We could put that in the scavenger hunt. Like, can you find this type of mushroom? And all the lichens that are, because it's so huge on the rocks, the leafy.
Yeah. You could put in there, what's the mushroom taste like?
But no,
maybe not that part.
I thought of that while I was out there. I'm like, oh, that'd be fun for kids to do, especially in the summertime when parents are looking for something to do with their kids. Like, oh, just go to the conservation land, do a little scavenger hunt, and then I'll take you to the library, and you can get a book, and then I don't know, look at the pocket forest. I have no idea, but it'd be a whole day just in air.
Cool. Uh-oh. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right. Oh, second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed nay. Passes unanimously.
Just-